The controls are deliberately lousy as you just use one elongated paw to operate everything in the car simultaneously and swipe away at the bees, badgers and fish that fly in through the window. It's ugly, it's awkward, and it's absolutely wonderful. Number 8. Survival Arts. There's something inherently funny about the digitized games from the early 90s. Back in those days, a developer had two main options, graphically speaking. Number 1 was vibrant pixel art that brought us everything from Super Mario Bros. To Street Fighter 2. Number 2 was to dress up a bunch of out-of-work actors in silly clothes and cobble the animations together from a bunch of disjointed snapshots. Mortal Kombat pulled it off pretty well, others less so. Survival art was a parade of unintentionally comical characters, chaotic backgrounds, and Dantel, the final boss, who looked like a washed-up member of Dead or Alive. The band, not the game. Look at that hair. Defeat him and he'll start spewing out black and white cutouts of Mussolini, Hitler, and other infamous dictators. What is happening? I'm enjoying it, but what is happening? Number 7, Two Worlds. Take a look at this open world RPG. Looks okay, doesn't it? Looks a bit like Oblivion, actually. In fact, it looks a lot like... Oh, okay, this is one of those Oblivion clones, isn't it? And what an Oblivion clone it is. The hilariously abysmal voice acting, which was performed by the developers themselves, is an absolute knockout.
I do not understand.
And then there are the bugs, which could result in your companions slaughtering entire villages of people or wandering off in a random direction, never to be seen again. Sure, the gorgeous locations of Bethesda are gripping and immersive, but why not add in even more stilted voice acting and crazy glitches for all the fun of the fair? What worries me is that this game is called Two Worlds. If this is World 1, God only knows what World 2 is like. Number 6, South Park. The brilliant stick of truth proves that South Park isn't inherently a bad license to bring to the gaming industry. However, the South Park game of 1998 did its damnedest to set that standard, with thicker fog than Silent Hill, nightmarish 3D models, and horrendous sound quality. And God, it hits the ground running. Right from the outset, you're faced with dozens of turkeys that make one hell of a grating noise. Bleeding ears aside, South Park somehow manages to come out of this as one of the funniest, weirdest shooters of the time. Iguana Entertainment, to quote Mr. Ollivander, did great things. Terrible, but great. Harry Potter reference. Number 5, Cho Aniki. Move over, self-aware Envirobear, because in Japan there exists a hugely popular video game genre called Kso-gi or something, which translates quite simply to shit game. Okay. Cho Aniki is probably one of the most famous, mostly because it looks like a Terry Gilliam animation turned up to 11. It's just... Oh, okay, that's... Oh, I don't know what... Oh, wow. Great. Oh, and here's a boss in the form of a giant human ass. This game is utterly terrible, hilarious perfection, but not the trippiest on the list. Hello, number 4, LSD Dream Emulator. There's no earthly way of knowing which direction we are going. There's no knowing where we're rowing, or which way the river's flowing. Is it raining? Is it snowing? Is a hurricane a-blowing? This game is equal parts but ugly and spellbinding. 10 out of 10. Number 3, 50 Cent, Blood on the Sand. Have you ever thought that all the problems currently plaguing the Middle East could be solved by flying Curtis 50 Cent Jackson out there with an arsenal full of guns and bullet time abilities? Well, THQ did, so here it is. In fact, they also sent in fellow G-Unit rappers Tony Yayo, Lloyd Banks, and DJ Woo Kid. God, I am so white. The game world is a troublingly generic Middle Eastern war zone, the enemies fight for an even more generic Middle Eastern terrorist cell, and the rappers all come across like Rambo mated with Last Action Hero. But Blood on the Sand is actually great fun. What? Going into Gangster Fire mode is satisfying. The score features exclusive FIDI tracks made just for the game, and the more your head starts to swim with the necessarily potent suspension of disbelief, you'll feel the corners of your mouth curling more and more. Number 2, Deadly Premonition. Take 1 part Resident Evil 4, 2 parts Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy, a sprinkling of Alan Wake, and marinate it in its own excrement for 6 hours. Deadly Premonition boasts pitiful combat, eye-watering visuals, peculiar dialogue, and a story that actually makes you less mentally enriched than you were when you started. So this game is certainly an experience. You could call it intriguing. In fact, it's even charming. Yeah, hang on, you control a psychic murder detective who gets visions in his coffee. You wander a kind of open world, talking with unintentionally eccentric locals, scuffling with demons, and, having a shave. Essentially, Deadly Premonition has the structural integrity of cornstarch water. Let it do its own thing for too long and it'll just drip through your fingers like bitty yogurt. But if you punch it, good and true, right in the face, there's a surprising and enjoyable amount of substance to it. And number 1, Big Rigs Over the Road Racing. Big Rigs is not finished. It was published above board, all official like by Game Mill, but it's just not finished. The epitome of video game infamy, Over the Road Racing is known across the world for its super traction trucks that can ascend 90-degree slopes with ease, phase right through solid objects including a bridge that's part of the actual racetrack, and then sail out into the endless void like a lorry-shaped TARDIS. Perhaps the greatest blunder of all, though, is that flipping the rig into reverse allows you to accelerate to almost 6 times 10 to the 20 light years per second, which is over an octillion times the speed of light. That's a 1 with 27 zeros after it, times the speed of light. Well done. Well done. So what did I miss? I know there are hundreds upon hundreds more, so please comment below and tell me all about them. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. You can chat with me on Twitter here and What Culture Gaming here. I'm Peter from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon.
Hey guys, welcome to All Time Gaming. I'm Chris.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie, and guys, you know what they say? Cheaters never prosper. That's the official line of it, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, if you cheat in something, you've got to expect the consequences to knock you back several paces. It's like cheating on exams in school.
Which I never did. I never cheated. Yep, it seems that some people still haven't received the memo as cheat software and budding hackers continue to be the little shits that they are and ruin the experience for the rest of us.
Well, apparently some developers hate them as much as we do and have gone to great lengths to punish offenders in the worst ways possible.
Great.
We're not talking about a simple ban. We're talking about inventive and humiliating ways to announce to the world that these people are arseholes.
So here are 6 of the best ways that cheaters have been punished.
Rockstar knows how to close an exploit in style. In GTA Online, for a very short time, players found a way to port an overpowered car, the Duke of Death, from the single-player game into the multiplayer. This obviously made it very popular for dickheads who like to drive up, smash into you, and run off giggling like the little shits that they are as you fire off potshots at them.
That's GTA Online in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, right? Yeah, exactly. But Rockstar obviously thoroughly disapproved of this kind of behavior, so instead of banning the perpetrators or forcing them into the cheaters' enclosure, they really wanted to hammer home the message, "Don't do it again, you little shits!" The ill-gotten cars were made explosive. This means that the next time that they wanted to go for a drive-by, the second they opened the door, you know what happened to that whole car?
Marshmallows came out of it.
No, the whole car would blow up.
Bitch-ass bullshit.
Yeah, that's right. GTA doesn't just want to give you a slap on that wrist. It wants you to think about what you've done as the camera fades to monochrome and your corpse ragdolls away from the flaming wreckage of your carefully preserved illegal vehicle. How tough are you now without your armored car, douchebag?
Well, Chris, back when GTA was still a top-down knockabout affair, the N64 was providing a ton of cheating potential. From watching someone else's screen in GoldenEye to using the mighty Game Shark for Donkey Kong 64.
Game Shark! That was awesome.
Game Shark. Da, 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 da. That's probably the theme tune if it had one.
I would say it probably isn't.
Okay. However, when you're playing GoldenEye, you could punch the screen watcher in the face if you wanted to. But there was no equivalent option in Donkey Kong 64, so developers Rare had to come up with a more elegant solution to the problem.
Elegant, yes.
The way the Game Shark worked was it rewrote bits of the code to give you the edge. However, it was always temporary. Maybe you wanted to get past an especially hard level or just wanted to dick around for a bit. Turn the game off and on again without saving and everything returned to normal. Not in Donkey Kong 64 though. If you saved just once after using the Game Shark, the entire game was corrupted. Your character would glitch uncontrollably, items would become permanently pinned to the floor, and your health plummeted. Even worse was the fact that this was irreversible. Your cartridge was damaged for life, not just your save, the fucking cartridge. All because you couldn't exercise patience and perseverance.
Dogs and cats living together. Total anarchy.
What?
Some Ghostbusters. Sometimes patience is less a virtue and more a requirement. Banning somebody from a game has been a standard response from developers for years. Usually it's a ban of a few hours to a few months, depending on the severity of your offence.
Yeah, sure.
If in Club Penguin you shout, "Whose beak do I have to face fuck to get some motherfucking fish around here?" that
God.
ban is probably going to be sufficiently longer. However, Monster Hunter 3 wanted to make an example out of those who cheat. Simply upgrading your farm or wanting to trade all 7 rare commodities the quick way gets you a ban for over 7,000 years.
It's over 7,000.
This is over 7,000 years, allowing you to resume playing on the 12th of December, 9,999. It's probably overkill to say the least.
Yeah.
But let's presume for a brief moment that you do survive that long. Maybe in the next few years, some clever clogs comes up with a secret of immortality. It gets to the year 9,999 and you're allowed to play your 7 millennia old game again. What's the first thing you're going to do? Well, you're probably going to cheat again, of course, because that's the kind of guy you are. You cheated once, why aren't you going to do it again? Now you're 9,999 and everyone knows that old people don't give a shit about anything. So you're old, you're immortal, that 7,000 year long ban has been and done, so that's okay, right? You can cheat again. No. This is only the first strike. Capcom promises that if you cheat again, that very unlikely situation, you'll face a lifetime ban, meaning act like a punk again and the next time the punishment will really matter. It's sweet that Capcom thinks someone is that committed to cheating that they'll happily wait all that time just for one more opportunity to fuck things up. To be fair, that lifetime ban would be an achievement, something to wear proudly on your arm. You're that dedicated to the craft.
Well, Josie, Gears of War 2, meanwhile, is known for having some pretty ridiculous achievements. I mean, seriously, 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, but we're looking at Gears of War 2, so seriously 2.0. However, some really clever people, or really dull people, depending on who you speak to, they figured out, thanks to one little trick with the flash drive, you could gain 100% completion rate in achievements without doing anything in the game. Sounds pretty cool, right? Or you see, I guess people would do it just so that they could have the bragging rights for your fellow gearheads. Only if they did this, no, something terrible happens. Microsoft became aware of this deception and cracked down on it. Hard, like erection hard. Xbox Live's Larry Herb, or Herb, or whatever, he announced that those found to have tampered with their accounts in this way would have their gamer scores reset to 0. With zero chance, no, I said 0 again, with no chance to regain any of the achievements they fairly or unfairly earned. So,
that's hard.
any achievement, your gamer score, 0, done. In addition to this, their Xbox Live gamer cards would be permanently branded with the word cheater. I like this. Announcing to everyone how much of a liar they actually were. No more bragging rights, no more showing off. We all see you with your gamer card and we think you're a dick. So guys, is this a fair response to exploiting something in the game? Should the developers have provided a little bit more protection from the glitch from the get-go? Let us know in the comments down below.
Speaking of dicks, running around naked in MMORPGs is a rite of passage for many players who are bored with their day-to-day grind.
Yeah, sure.
However, for one hacker, it was not intentional. Neither was the leap off a 40-foot tower to their death on the cobbled streets below. This is the fate of Darkseid, a cautionary tale to all those who wandered the world of Guild Wars 2. Darkseid stood accused by the community of hacking in order to deal previously impossible levels of damage, use teleportation, and the ability to revive quickly to come back and continue the reign of terror. People were becoming sick of his bullshit, and long threads on the Guild Wars forums formed the case against him.
We're sick of your bullshit, Darkseid. That's how Guild Wars players.
A very accurate transcript. Developers ArenaNet believed that they had all the evidence they needed to take action against him, but surely a simple ban wasn't enough for a supreme cock such as Darkseid.
Dark side of the cock.
They needed to make example of him. Chris Cleary, game security lead, elected to hack his account and take control of his character. Once in control, he stripped Darkseid down to his nut and balls, took him up to the top of a tower and, after waving to the assembled crowds below, threw the avatar off to his virtual death. The account and every account associated with Darkseid was subsequently banned for good measure. That's how to fucking deal with a hacker, cheater, doodah, Nazi.
Yes, Jamie, public punishment can be an effective deterrent. H1Z1 is the zombie survival game mostly known for not being DayZ. However, it has gained a reputation for the humiliating way it likes to treat cheaters who have been banned from the game. If you've been caught using cheat software or hacks, you're banned permanently. So far, so standard.
Yeah.
But what former Daybreak game company president John Smedley demanded was self-abasement. A full apology for ruining the game for everyone else, and that's no meek apologising via email where you can save face. A full YouTube public apology we're talking about, which would then be tweeted by Smedley for the world to find and laugh at. And you can't fake the apology by making the video private as soon as you were unbanned either. You really had to atone for your actions.
Think upon your sins.
Reflect.
First, sorry for cheating, but I know I fucked this up, but trust me, I cheating only because I see so many fucking cheaters. They kill me every fucking time.
Some gamers sunk hundreds of dollars into the game only to be banned for their flawless actions. Now they're being forced to grovel to be allowed back onto the servers, so their money wasn't wasted. Smedley said that he wasn't intentionally shaming people, merely highlighting how much of an issue it was. Did it work though? Smedley himself took to Reddit in 2015 to say that of the 30,000 people banned, sometimes pride for a gamer is more precious than actual gaming.
30,000 people got banned.
Or money.
I didn't even know that 30,000 people played that fucking game.
There are only 3 people now playing the game. Should have 3 that were allowed back onto the servers.
Well, guys, there we go. 6 brutal ways in which games punished you for not playing nice with the other kids. But what do you think? Did we miss anything else off of this list? Let us know in the comments below. They better be fucking good. Just saying.
And while you're there, give us a like and subscribe. Why not?
Why don't ya?
And if you enjoyed this video, check out our list of 6 trolls that probably should have been banned for their acts of amazing dickery.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Said Jamie.
Hey guys, welcome to All Time Gaming. I'm Jamie.
I'm Chris.
And I'm back.
Yes,
Hey.
Jonesy.
Hello.
Did you enjoy a little break away from us?
Yeah, I managed to finish a few games in that time, so it's pretty productive.
Well, it's just as well that you're back, Jonesy, because there's safety in numbers, especially when it comes to video games.
What are you talking about?
Because griefers, Chris, trolls are everywhere. They're waiting in the shadows of your favourite games, looking for an opportunity to ruin your fun for their cheap kicks.
Are they snatching our people up?
But
Hide your wife, hide your kids. Well, in light of that, here's our list of the 6 worst trolls in gaming.
Right, guys, I'm going to start it off with the fast-paced, frenetic fun that is Team Fortress 2. That's right, every character build, even down to the sniper, is designed to be kept on the move so as to avoid being a target in an instant. Just like that, Of course, seasoned veterans know this, right? They know not to stop and stare at something just because someone will come up behind them, give them a few kind of impromptu face stab. Well, apparently no, people do not know this, as a noble few realize that the only thing sweaty teenage boys like more than yelling obscenities at girls are boobies. So sit back and spray an image of a scantily clad lady on the wall during a match and watch the queue form up. Just a few seconds are needed for a spy to walk up behind them and shank them in the back. Break the cardinal rule of Team Fortress 2, and that is your just desserts.
can I be Viennetta?
I'm pretty sure that there are some serial self-lovers out there who feel that the death was worth it all the same.
From satisfying deaths to frustrating lessons in punishment, Dark Souls 3, as we've said many, many times before, is a masochistic experience to play. You know, unless you #get good.
Get good, son!
You sound like you've said that before, Jonesy.
Never said that. It's not just because of the bosses, but also sometimes because of the community who invade your game.
Bastards.
These brave few who seek out poor souls to destroy thrive off the suffering of others.
Just like the Nazis did.
Just like the Nazis. So imagine their faces when they spawn into a game and are confronted with this. 4 heavily armoured bastards, each equipped with the armour of thorns. Not only is the challenger outnumbered, but they're also slowly backed into a corner and messed with.
Taunted,
If you will.
Some try to escape, some submit and accept their fate. Others try to fight back. Those idiots. Brave,
those
but they're still idiots. With 4 spiky bastards rolling at you, you really have no hope of defending yourselves. Just sit down, wait for the sweet release of death, and pray that your next leap will be the one home. Have you guys ever been the target of trolling by invading dickheads? Tell us your stories in the comments.
Now, almost everyone familiar with World of Warcraft knows of 3 grand events.
Yeah.
The Blood Plague, Leroy Jenkins,
Oh, yeah.
and the...
Leroy Jenkins.
That's the one. And the Funeral Raid. Well, that Funeral Raid was peanuts compared to this one. Planetside community member Raider05 died in real life, RIP, and his guild decided to commemorate his passing with an in-game funeral.
Right, okay. It's quite nice.
No shittier way to go than that. To prevent a repeat of the WoW funeral raid, the mourners raised a force shield which would instantly kill enemy combatants. What they neglected to consider, however, was the fact that their own side contained just as many dicks as their opponents.
Nice.
A guild supposedly on the same side called the Enclave used this opportunity to carpet bomb the fuck out of the ceremony.
That is harsh.
Yeah.
This is a real dude who's dead. They're having a little ceremony.
It's a real dude who's dead.
And they carpet bombed
it's
his
a funeral in a game. You deserve to be fucking carpet bombed. The only people armed were the snipers arranged to give a 21-gun salute, and they were not prepared to take on an aerial blitz. Over 200 characters were killed in a 3-minute campaign, with the attacking guild giggling all the way back over the hills.
I just imagine them.
We fucked up your funeral.
Now that was pretty brutal, however, the Enclave did get their just desserts.
Oh, more just desserts.
More just desserts Viennetta all round. For an act of such extreme dickery, the guild was permabanned from the game.
Good, good.
That is a pretty strong punishment.
Could you imagine the reaction? Those bedrooms of those 13-year-old boys all over.
Mom!
Oh my God!
Banned again, man!
I've been banned! I bet there were remotes up asses that day.
Well, Jamie, I'm glad you started off with World of Warcraft in your previous number, but, you know, we've all heard the stories of people who have binge played that game, sometimes until death. You know,
That's
What?
a weird way.
People have binge played it until
sometimes
death.
until death.
Yeah, people would play.
Just go for a poo, you idiot. I will not. Oh no, his lower intestines
See, when-
burst and he's
if it's
gone
not- if it's-
septic on his
yeah.
insides.
Ugh. Yeah, okay, guys, look. It's a serious...
Hey guys, I'm Jamie,
And I'm Alex.
and it's time, Jonesy, that we were serious for a bit.
I don't like getting too serious. But, okay, let's get serious. We've received a number of complaints about our behaviour both on and off screen.
A lot of those complaints, Jonesy, directed at us, telling us that we're evil guys, that we're doing bad things, but what if the games were making us bad?
I think you might be onto something there, Jamie. So, we've put together a list of 6 games that do make you evil.
Let's start with a basic truth, Jonesy.
Okay.
The boss in the Saints Row series is not a nice guy.
He is not.
That dude will straight up murder anybody that gets in his way, or her way.
Or her
you
way.
know, because we're progressive.
He's
here.
an equal opportunities murderer.
Sometimes they'll even cheekily smack a person with a dildo bat just to see how far they go. They'll murder an entire station of policemen for nothing more than shits and giggles.
Just for the lols.
And speaking of shit, they'll also happily spray it all over the place, practically guaranteeing to ruin anyone's good mood that day.
Yeah,
It would kill your day, wouldn't it?
That would kill your day if you got covered in shit before you did anything else.
But Jonesy, why does this make you evil?
Why?
Because damn if it isn't enjoyable.
But then that must mean that you're evil, not the game. If you're enjoying being so bad.
Well, that's what we're here to discuss, Jonesy. It makes acting like a self-centered bellend fun, to the point where you lose all sense of moral perspective and willingly plunge headfirst into a pool of depravity and dick jokes.
Yeah, that does happen.
They say the path to hell is paved with good intentions. Here, it's paved with the corpses of furries and spent shell casings.
All right, let's give that motherfucker what's coming to him.
Well, Jamie, from cartoonish to all too real, history is littered with examples of humans being dicks to each other, but more often than not in video games, it's presented as an equal fight. Think World War II, think Battlefield 1, any Total War game. However, Playing History 2 tried to present one of the sorriest, most shameful chapters in world history as a series of fun little mini-games. Produced by Serious Games, the game tackles the slave trade, Jamie.
Oh.
This is something that probably should have been left out of gaming in general, but with precisely zero sensitivity or awareness for the subject matter, you get to play as a young slave boy called Tim, who actively assists in trafficking people across the Atlantic.
Can't say it's not historically accurate. They did transport them in big ships.
Whilst it's historically accurate, it's kind of weird to actually be a winning point in a game whereby if you get the shit across the Atlantic, you win. Well done, you're a successful slave trader. Pat on your back. Then, of course, there's the now infamous slave Tetris section. You have to cram the hold full of slaves in a twisted block stacking game. This particular bit gained so much attention that Serious Games had to remove the offending section in order to shift more units. Yet the rest of it, including the racism kind of presented as a little bit of fun, is kept in. You shouldn't need a game to teach children that slavery was wrong. You certainly don't need a game that teaches them that it can be fun when you're trying to jam them into that hold.
Jonesy, playing History 2 took an evil reality and made you play through it. The Sims 2, however, takes a fantastic and fun universe and leads you down the path of evil through sheer boredom.
Well, boredom is something you're going to experience if you play The Sims.
Oh, give it. It's The Sims, Jonesy. It deserves a pass.
Fair enough.
Because it's touched so many of us. We've all been there. You spent hours, days even, building a life for your Sims and constructing your dream house. You've given them a wonderful partner, a dream job, maybe even some kids.
Yeah.
A couple of little tykes running around. It's The Sims. They are living the life you wish you had. They're having more fun, they're earning more money, and they're getting laid more than you.
And it's just grating on me, Jamie. As I'm playing, it's just grating on me.
This must be how God feels. This must be why he sends all those earthquakes and typhoons and kills millions of innocent Asian people. And it's with that ultimate realization, Jonesy, that you are feeling the same frustration that God feels.
Damn it, why is their lives better than mine?
Exactly, that you understand even the great and good must be humbled. So you pack their house full of fridges but no toilets. You put them in the pool and take the ladder away. You construct a maze of ovens and force the smug bastards to escape it before the fire consumes them. Then there's the basement dwellers, Jonesy, who exist solely to make you feel better about the fact that while you're spending the only life you will ever have making fictional characters live better than you do, at least one of your creations is suffering. The feeling of petty revenge to make you feel better about your lot in life. That is the definition of evil, and it makes me feel so good.
Well, Jamie, you either die the hero or you live long enough to become the villain. Well, fuck that. Some of us want to be the villains from the start. No backstory, no emotional roller coaster of innocence lost or betrayal, just straight up deciding one day that you kind of fancy ruling the world. Evil Genius on the PC was that game.
You know what the real life version of that was, right?
Go on.
Hitler.
You play a cartoonish Bond villain type charged with establishing a base from which to take over the world. It was an addictive, fun game which lampooned the silly world of James Bond perfectly. What is more evil, Jamie, than stealing the Eiffel Tower?
The Holocaust, baby.
Okay, I'll give you that one, but maybe that's a step too far. But what about other priceless artifacts? Evil! Every now and then, security forces from around the world would come to stop you and were met with nasty fates such as spring-loaded fire pits, collapsible gas chambers, or a mass of henchmen running over to ruin their day. So, you know, collapsible gas chambers, we're almost at the Holocaust, you know.
I suppose so.
We're getting part of the way there. You even get the opportunity to intimidate one of your rivals by putting him into a giant blender a la Joe Cartoon, which is always nice.
Nazis didn't do that.
They didn't do that.
They missed a trick.
You spent a large amount of your time building up your base and training minions, which showed the softer, caring, and ultimately more banal side of evil. But even megalomaniacs need someone to do the paperwork. Evil Genius showed that villainy could be cute as well as fun.
Well, Jonesy, speaking of base building bastards, we should probably mention the daddy of them all.
Go on.
Dungeon Keeper saw you act as basically a demon, which is about as evil as you can get.
Pretty fucking evil.
Heroes would pop in from time to time to check out the decor and kill the dungeon heart, and it would be your job to destroy them with a series of inventive traps. Favourites included boulders, lightning, and horned demons, which basically wrecked all and any poor bastard foolish enough to get in the way.
Teaching right for being a hero.
Exactly, that's what you get. Now, this on its own is bad enough, but it's nothing compared to how you treated your own labour force.
Oh, we're getting back to slavery.
Oh yes, slapping is the primary method of communication, it seems, as I guess the imps don't have much in the way of a union.
They're obviously not French.
And this slapping, Jonesy, encourages them to move faster when completing projects. Occasionally, sacrifices would have to be made as well, which must have been a headache for the imp HR department. Badum-ts. When you addict to your own allies, you have a fair idea of just how much of an evil prick you are.
Yeah, being a dick to allies is pretty bad, but indiscriminate violence on innocents is somehow worse.
That sounds like something a cop would say. Are you a cop? You got to tell me if you're a cop.
Recent controversy generator Hatred may have stoked this particular fire, but it was merely imitating the game that did it first, Postal, or more particularly Postal 2. Here was a game that gloried in inflicting indignity and violence on mostly innocent people and animals. Animals aren't entirely innocent. I'm gonna pull that out. They're pretty evil, most animals, I'd say.
Wow. Alex Animal Hater Jones.
Cats are definitely evil. There's the ever-popular pissing on someone, although he must have drunk a shit ton of water to maintain the stream for that long. There's gunplay for the boring or lobotomized.
That's you, Call of Duty fans.
There's fire for the pyromaniacs. And there's using a cat as a silencer for the sadist. But we've already discussed how cats are evil, so actually there's nothing wrong with
They
this.
say they deserve that.
They deserve it. You see, there's something unpleasant for everybody. The crucial thing, however, about Postal 2 is that there is a choice involved. You can complete the game entirely without conflict or unpleasantness. You don't actually have to be that evil. However, when you do this, you come to understand that while your ultimate actions are evil, the jibes and taunts of everyone else are nasty in their own right. They're not blameless either, and their constant harassment of you, the player, for fun is sort of evil in its own right.
Getting deep on this shit, Jonesy.
So this doesn't justify your actions, of course, but the world of Postal infects your personality. They're nasty, and it takes the compassion of a saint not to beat them to death and piss on their body. Maybe the game just reflects the evil nature of humanity. Maybe the player's reaction is an effort to regain control and dignity. Maybe I'm talking bollocks. Who knows?
I'd say a bit of all three. So that was our list of 6 games that make you evil. Do you agree, or are you suffering from some kind of existential crisis right now? Leave a comment and let us know.
And if you like this list, why not click on screen right now and check out our list of the 6 games that fucked with your head. And as always, like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.
See ya. Bye.
Hey guys, welcome to All Time Gaming. I'm Chris.
And I'm Jamie.
And we're back for a second 6 list this week.
It's absolutely crazy.
I know, it's fucking mental, Jamie. It's messing up my head.
Do you know what could fuck your head up even worse, Chris?
Yeah?
These games.
Holy shit!
These 6 games that can absolutely fuck with your head if you're not careful. 6 games that will crawl under the skin of your head and implant fucks in your brain.
Right, Jamie, well, let's start with a fairly tame entry before we go a little bit too crazy. Do you remember that point in Batman Arkham Asylum where you encounter the Scarecrow? It's a little bit spooky watching Batman's parents reanimate. It might make you jump if you're taken unawares, but it's a fairly typical jump scare. So, you know, nothing really to write home about, right?
I did write home though. Dear Mother, I shat my pants last night whilst playing Arkham Asylum. As I scribe this letter to your mother, I can feel the hot shit dripping down my thigh. Mother dearest, I beg of you, bring me some toilet paper.
Yeah, well, Jamie, yeah, okay. Well, how about watching as your game starts to glitch out? How about that? Pounding buttons on your controller in vain as the graphics screw up and the screen reverts back to the title screen. You didn't save. What the hell's going on? Of course, doesn't help matters that the game gives you unhelpful hints such as use the middle stick to avoid Joker's gun. You press start expecting to pick up from the last checkpoint and... the fuck? Starting from the beginning? Why is Batman strapped to the gurney? Harley's questioning you? What the hell is going on here?
I've waited a long time for this, Bats. Let's start the party with a bang.
It turns out, Jamie, that the Scarecrow squirted you in your face with his freaky toxin.
Hey, hello.
Hey,
The
hey.
Scarecrow's freaky toxin all around your mouth
This is it.
and face.
Sounds like it. Oh, rub it in my hair. Well, anyway, that freaky toxin made you think that the roles had been reversed. Alright, don't worry, Scarecrow. You'll fucking get yours, you bastard.
Yeah, you're just a dude with a bag on his head.
Bag lady.
I saw a homeless person like that the other day.
Yeah?
And he wasn't even remotely scary. Although he too did try and spray me with his deadly toxin. Well, Chris, you think that's bad?
Yeah.
Try having the entire game mess with your head instead of just one small section. Eternal Darkness specializes in that kind of shit. As monsters and the like see your character, your sanity meter decreases. As your sanity meter decreases, the stranger things become. And when I say strange, I don't mean like Dead Space style jump scares.
Ah! Okay.
That was quite effective. I mean proper weird shit.
Okay, how weird can it get?
How about turning into a zombie after entering certain innocuous doors? Or the character's chest exploding resulting in a fake death? What about statues turning to look at characters as they walk by?
That one's pretty standard, I guess.
Just so far it's just been creepy,
Yeah.
right? But then the game goes a lot further.
Further down that hole. That deep, dark hole.
Jesus Christ, we need to get through one of them without like holes or deadly toxins or sprays.
Hey man, fucking with the viewer's mind.
How about congratulating the player on finishing the demo?
What?
Yeah, I know, right? Emptying your inventory?
Emptying your... How did you say?
Inventory.
You say inventory.
I have done how do you say
Inventory.
inventory? Should I say inventory for the Americans?
How would they even say that?
Inventory.
Inventory.
Inventory. What did I say the first time? Inventory.
No, you said... Like,
Inventory.
no. Oh, fuck, I don't know.
All of these are designed to give the player a taste of the unease that the character is going through. Most notoriously of all, the game displays a blue screen of death, causing more than a few people to believe the game had glitched and reboot their machines.
Not cool.
Not cool at all.
Yeah.
Unlike Batman, which quickly shows the glitch to be fake, Eternal Darkness wants you to fuck things up and question your own grip on reality. Have any of you guys ever fallen for one of these tricks though? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah. Jamie, let's face it though, reality largely sucks, right?
I know, yeah.
Which is why there are a lot of guard games out there, so you can...
Fuck with someone else's reality.
Exactly right. So when you get a game that lets you craft your own world, it's really disconcerting when that game begins to mess with your head.
I bet.
Example, Black and White 2 by the now sadly departed Lionhead Studios of Fable fame.
Of Peter Molyneux fame.
Well, they did just that by doing their level best to get inside your head and make you feel really guilty about your inadequate decisions. Basically, Jamie, when one of your civilians dies in the field, the game very faintly whispers your name. Chris. Yes, that's right, your name, Jamie. The game has scanned your system for a verifiable name. Your name, in fact. And then has it whispered to make you feel really, really guilty about what you've just done. Or maybe like me, you don't really give two shits about civilians and prefer just slapping your animal slave. Slap, 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 slap. I was a bit disturbed when I said that.
No, what are you talking about? You're just a dude that killed people and slapped cows.
Hey man, he's letting me cut off limbs and write ATG with him.
I did that in my at the age of 22. Plus, it wasn't like I got all those limbs from just a pit of naked corpses or anything.
Jamie, don't you feel guilty about dismembering those corpses?
Guilt? You don't know what guilt is until you've stared into the unblinking, hollow eye sockets of a dead mother as she tried to protect her young child from a white phosphorus strike that you initiated.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm talking
I know
about
what you're
now.
talking
It's
about.
Spec Ops The Line.
Great game.
You play as a US Ranger captain tasked with investigating what happened to a rogue army battalion in the ruins of Dubai.
Yeah.
Hence all the sand. Over the course of the game, you're presented with what appear to be simple choices, similar to every other binary choice game on the market. The only difference is that often there are multiple choices and sometimes only really one.
Yeah, they kind of funnel you into a decision, don't they?
Exactly, the game plays with your sense of morality, your sanity, and the way you've been conditioned to play games.
Turning the tables, I see.
Exactly, if you're given the order by your superior, you follow it. That's how games work.
Yeah.
The game takes that follow instructions policy and asks why.
Why do you follow my instructions?
It may look like dumb fun on the box, but give it a chance and the game explores hidden depths of the human psyche, PTSD, and questions how much control we really have in life.
Man, that white phosphorus though, that's quite brutal.
Yes.
Let's lighten the tone a bit. Let's fun it up, right?
Yeah.
Let's introduce the lighter side of mind fuckery. You know where I'm going with this?
Not quite.
No? Psychonauts.
Oh.
Yeah, the amazing mid-2000s game from the mind of Tim Schafer, post-LucasArts, with a huge cult following. The entire game has a psychological theme, with the setting of Lake Oblongata, psychic animals, a character named Dr. Loboto, and of course the obligatory person who thinks himself Napoleon Bonaparte.
Classic. Every story's got one.
What gives this game a place on this list is that unlike the other games that, try to mess with the player in subtle ways, this game just amps it up to fucking 11 and just goes batshit crazy in plain sight. It's weird, yes, but that level of weird is complemented by the gameplay, which embraces that weirdness. Instead of being strange for the sake of strangeness, the weirdness is integral to the game, making it charming instead of aggravating. What do you guys think? Are you amped for Psychonauts 2? Do you want an HD remaster? Let us know in the comments below. Listen, all I care about is that they do an HD release of Sam and Max Hit the Road. That's all I want.
Well, Chris, with this next one, we have to face it. We all kind of knew it would be on this list.
Yeah?
It's probably the most well-known, certainly one of the most popular fourth wall breaking games in history.
Go on.
I'm talking about the Metal Gear Solid series.
Right.
From gaining Meryl's contact code from the back of the box, to Snake telling Raiden he needs to have his vibration turned on, Hideo Kojima just loves to occasionally mess with the player in subtle ways.
Yes.
But in the first Metal Gear Solid though, Chris, Psycho Mantis is probably the most famous example of that fourth wall breakery. So the game can read your memory card and it can tell if you've played Castlevania if you were playing on the PS1, or if you played Twin Snakes on the GameCube, it knows if you played Super Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy playing Eternal Darkness?
The game can tell how often you saved and how you've approached the game so far, and Mantis will comment on your playstyle. He will even call you reckless or maybe even a coward, Chris, if you've played like one. Or perhaps even worse than that is the time that Mantis uses a blackout technique to mimic a dead TV. The only way to prevent him reading your attacks is to actually unplug your controller and put it into the second controller port. Another cool thing that Mantis does, it claims to be able to move your controller, ask you to put it on the floor, and then it does the vibrate, so it goes and like moves it along the floor, and you're like, oh shit, Psycho Mantis can move my controller. Of course, now most people have grown jaded by these tricks and are used to game types trying to mess with the experience, but back then, in a more innocent time, this was groundbreaking. With shit like that, Chris, it's no wonder that the MGS series has cemented a place in gaming history. And my heart.
Well, guys, that was our list of the 6 biggest mindfuck games out there. Do you agree? Any other suggestions? I mean, Far Cry 3 was pretty trippy.
Yeah, it could have been, yeah.
Let us know what you think in the comments below. And on screen right now are the 6 most shocking video game twists. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
See ya. Hey guys, welcome to All Time Gaming. I'm Chris.
I'm Jamie.
And I'm Alex.
And today we're going to take a look at the most shocking deaths, biggest traitors, and insane endings in video game history. But before we even get started, just a reminder that this clip is spoiler-tastic.
So if you want to avoid potentially game-ruining reveals and plot points, we're recommending that you take a look at the description to find out which games we're going to mention. Go ahead, you can do that now. We'll wait.
TikTok.
Let us know when you're...
Okay, all done? Sitting comfortably? Good. Then let's get down to business.
Yes.
Getting things underway is gorgeous QuickTime Event Fest Heavy Rain on the PS3.
Ooh, good choice.
Which sets itself up for a, wait for it, killer twist.
That's very good, yeah.
Heavy Rain opens with the unseen kidnapping of protagonist Ethan Mars' son, Jason! And with the infamous child drowning origami.
Hey guys, welcome to All Time Gaming. I'm Chris.
I'm Jamie.
Jamie.
That's my name, you know me.
And I'm Alex.
And have either of you considered the great mysteries of the universe?
Oh, like, why are we here and what's the meaning of life?
Yeah.
I try not to.
Yeah, that's just as well, because this list has actually nothing to do with that. This list is all about 6 slightly less existential, but no less important, mysteries in video games.
Dishonored is the perfect antidote to the usual assassinate 'em up, as your actions have very real consequences for the way the game plays out. For instance, kill anyone you see and the world gets darker, with more rats and more weepers. Want to play as a vicious bastard? Well then you are in luck, my psychotic friend. Thanks to the mysterious outsider, you have plenty of powerful ways to fuck with your enemies, such as sending a horde of filthy rats to chop them down. But wait, who exactly is the outsider? What does he want? Is he good or evil, Chris?
Don't know.
Debate rages across Reddit and in comment sections as to whether the outsider is an avenging angel with a mind towards justice, or a trickster god who just enjoys the mayhem caused by his interference. Harvey Smith, the co-creative director of Dishonored, has said that the outsider's brutal origins have given him a bitter attitude towards the abuse of power. He's also been said to have human emotion but with inhuman perception. Which
Daredevil.
again, possibly Daredevil. He's a blind. He's a blind and he can hear
He's
things.
a blind.
solved.
Look at him, he's the blind.
Which again just makes us ask why. But maybe the most interesting question is really, why not? The outsider is precisely that. Someone from the outside looking in as a scientist would observe lab rats. So could it be that the mysterious outsider is simply experimenting on people? He's equated with a leviathan in the book Spirit of the Deep, and a frozen whale appears behind him in the void. With any luck, Dishonored 2 will have more answers than questions, but probably not.
No, come on. They need to fucking explain this. It's such a big part of the game. And it's like,
But then we wouldn't be able to make videos about it.
ooh.
Exactly, it would be a mistake, Chris.
On the surface, Ark Survival Evolved is another Minecraft clone of the sort infecting the Steam storefront like a bad case of gonorrhea.
Place?
Like a bad case of AIDS. However, delve a little deeper and the dinosaur taming adventure provides much more opportunity for shipflinging and gang warfare than Mojang's classic.
It's because it's nothing like Minecraft.
Well, it kind of is.
No, it's not.
Well, yeah, you gather resources.
yeah.
Survival and crafting games don't equal Minecraft. Just because
Well-
Minecraft does survival and crafting. That's like saying friggin' Knights of the Old Republic
I'm-
is exactly the same as any other RTS.
So I'm going to tell you my process as I start a new game, and you tell me when you know which one I'm talking about. I launch the game, I start a new game. I start off as a dude on some kind of island where there's like woodland and water and various other things. I need sticks to build somewhere that I can keep myself safe, because at nighttime it becomes more dangerous. Nope, I was talking about Minecraft.
You weren't, because you don't get sticks. You have
Yes,
to...
you do. You get wood and you get sticks from wood.
You didn't say that.
I
You
was
said you get sticks.
I need sticks. So I was just.
you have to
I
get
was-
wood, and
I
then
was
you
just-
make
I was
sticks.
just about to run up to a tree and start beating the tree and getting stuff from it.
You don't get sticks.
Guess what?
You don't
Everything-
get sticks. You get planks.
It's
you
the
get-
same
you
shit.
get- you
It's
get-
different.
As soon as you
You're
open.
wrong, Jonesy.
Yet, for all the pretty graphics, there are still many questions that remain unanswered. I want to believe. Questions such as, where the fuck am I? What the fuck is that? And what the fuck is this thing on my fucking arm?
It's in me.
The important questions. At least at the beginning of the game, it seems you spend a lot of time wandering around in a daze just trying to work out what exactly is going on. You wake up naked, which is usually a pretty big red flag, with a chip implanted in your arm with no recollection of getting there. You're on a weird island with fucking big dinosaurs and fellow survivors who would capture you at a moment's notice if given half a chance.
It's one of those anti-pregnancy things that they give you because they know you're going to get fucked
What a condom.
Fucked by a dinosaur.
by anything that comes across you.
This is kind of like a portal into your head. Alex Jones, fucked by a dinosaur.
Back in February 2016, Studio Wildcard added Explorer Notes, which explains a little, but nowhere near enough about precisely what is going on. Death doesn't appear to be a thing, so maybe Ark means safety. Maybe it's a safe haven for extinct species, and selected representatives from said species are sent there to preserve the gene seed. Who by? Maybe it's aliens. It's always aliens, right?
I'm not saying it's aliens. It's always aliens.
It's those aliens from that shit Nicolas Cage film, The Knowing,
Oh god.
where
Let-
you get from a new
Why'd you have
planet.
to go there?
Such a shit film.
Well, anyway, what do you guys think? Is Ark a survival vessel, and were we sent there by aliens, or is it all just a side story to Nicolas Cage's Knowing?
Yes, and will Alex Jones be by a dinosaur? Right then, moving on. High on the list of items I would like in real life, a Pip-Boy from Fallout. Not only
Do you have a smartphone? Hey, look,
Cheated it.
this is like a Pip-Boy, except it's way fucking better than a Pip-Boy.
Not only is it stylish, but also a handy personal computer for the late 21st century executive on the go.
Very chic, having a big rusty block on your wrist.
I really want a phone that's just glued to my wrist that I can't use.
And it would be great if it could use some really old display technology and only in green and black.
All right, guys.
Twiddle knobs, little
With-
twiddly
with-
knobs
with-
as
with-
well.
with-
All
maybe
right.
if we could like put some cassette tapes in it and play really old.
Oh, okay. In the apocalyptic wasteland, however, it also serves another function. VATS, or Voltec Assisted Targeting System. As we all know, when you're playing, you'll find yourself using it all the time, as it's often a great way to pause, catch your breath, concentrate your fire, etc. Sometimes, though, if your luck is just high enough, or if you have the right skill setup, the mysterious stranger will also appear as if from nowhere while in VATS and take out an enemy in one single hit, saving you the hassle. Thanks. A staple of the series since the very first edition, one question has always been at the forefront of players' minds. Who is the mysterious stranger? I mean, why would he intervene in a conflict that he apparently doesn't have a stake in? Does he have a stake in it? And is it medium rare? How does he get in there so fast? Where does he go afterwards? Is he stalking me? Why am I asking so many questions? Oh my god, he is stalking me, isn't he? He's right behind me right now? Fuck. In the first few games, he also had the potential to die, which implies that he is actually immortal and not some guardian angel. Although the perk text in Fallout 3 and New Vegas would suggest otherwise. Also, other people such as fucking great Nick Valentine notice when he turns up, so he's clearly not a figment of your imagination.
That was him, the stranger. He's right here. Where'd he go?
I like to imagine that the mysterious stranger is Leslie Nielsen.
Oh,
From
that would
Naked
be
Gun.
so good.
Yeah.
Be awesome.
I just want that to be his face.
In Fallout 3 and New Vegas, it's implied that he is the father of the Lonesome Drifter, but that doesn't explain the appearances in the other games. But maybe, just maybe, we don't need to know who he is. I mean, he's the hero we need, not necessarily the one we deserve.
Where is she?
Whereas the mysterious stranger can be regarded as an altruistic guardian, G-Man from Half-Life looks like he has a way more questionable motive.
He ain't no J, he ain't no J.
Appearing at the most opportune or inopportune moments, G-Man has had a profound influence on the events of Half-Life, even saving your mute ass on a few occasions. Everything from his formal dress, gaunt face and odd speech pattern to his ability to seemingly appear at will in hotspots around the game makes him one of the most enigmatic characters in video game history. It's no surprise then that his lack of identity has caused dozens of fan theories to revolve around him. Some say that his distinct voice indicates an unfamiliarity with human speech, hinting at alien origins maybe.
Maybe.
Wake up, Mr. Freeman.
This is backed up by the fact that the boss in Half-Life, the Nihilinth, makes reference to the Not Man.
Jonesy's the not man. He's cool. Not
His unruffled attitude to many dangers going on around him gives the impression that G-Man is actually some kind of psychic projection. This is supported by his frequent appearances on screens dotted around City 17, even if they are unplugged. Ooh. Of course, there are other ideas about who G-Man is and what his intentions are. One theory alleges that G-Man is from an alternate dimension and is helping the Vortigons destroy the Combine. To achieve this, he used Earth as a battleground in order to prevent major losses for the Vorts. Another theory proposes that G-Man is a rogue Combine advisor who used Gordon Freeman as a tool to break Combine control over the Vorts so he could manipulate them himself.
Bastard!
But they became aware of his intentions to enslave them, which explains why he appears to not want to spend too much time around them. Because if you've previously tried to enslave people, they don't usually like to spend time. Basically, what I'm driving at is that nobody knows for sure, except for Valve, and they don't appear to be too hurried about letting us know anytime soon. Hashtag Half-Life Matter.
Last year, if there was one game more beloved by critics and gamers than Undertale, then I haven't heard about it. Read the YouTube comments in any video, ever.
Where's Undertale? Oh my god!
It was the indie darling of 2015 thanks to its fresh narrative and engaging writing. And as with all indie games at the moment, there seem to be more questions left open to the fans than answers. Questions such as who is W.D. Gaster? There are veiled references to him throughout the game, but even after a year, they're none the wiser as to who this creepy man is. Now, that hasn't prevented them from trying, of course. Mistress Spitfire on the Steam message boards has created a sizable dossier on Gaster, detailing who mentions him and where for other amateur sleuths to investigate. For example, in the bug hunting area, someone will ask you where your friend with a creepy smile has disappeared to. Someone will phone you and begin asking for Gaster before realising it's a wrong number and hanging up. In another area, by setting your fun value to 66, there's even a tease of meeting Gaster in person before he fades away. All the pieces of evidence are far too long for us to detail, but rest assured it's all extremely creepy.
Just like Alex Jones.
Who is Gaster beyond a mad scientist spread through space and time? Some have speculated that he's Sans' father, or that he's cut content. Others are convinced that Gaster is Sans' brother. Creator Toby Fox even posted a cryptic message on Tumblr as Sans that ended, "Not everyone is as tough as my brother." It might mean Papyrus, but could it also mean Gaster? Who knows?
Alright. This is a wild one, which either points to Bethesda's commitment to a bit, or Elder Scrolls' fans having far too much time on their hands. Probably the latter.
Both plausible.
Now, you've probably encountered this item yourself. A bug in a jar. Sometimes it's found in a shack, sometimes in a cave, but every time, a fucking bug in a fucking jar. A butterfly, a moth, a dragonfly, a torch bug, a bee, it doesn't matter. Each time on the lid, there's a different rune. So what the hell does all this bug collecting mean? Surely the runes are just an indicator for the contents of the jar, right? Ah, sweet, silly child. No, not at all. And it has remained one of the most enduring mysteries of Skyrim even to this day. According to some people, they point to the apocalypse, the cleansing of Nirn from all human life. That's right. And there are a lot of theories as to how to trigger this apocalypse. Let's start from the beginning, shall we? The first theory suggests that the 5 cities in Skyrim form a pentagon. Within that is a smaller pentagon formed from the dragon sanctuaries, that place, and of course the Tower Stone. In the center of this circle was a shrine to Talos.
You're aware that pointing out shapes in imagery is what Illuminati people do.
Guys, have you seen our logo? Supposedly, if you slay the dragons in the sanctuaries and place the bugs in their respective cities, the activation of the Tower Stone would trigger the apocalypse on the promised day. Another popular theory speculates that the runes point towards a Thelma plot to bring down the throat of the world and doom humanity on Nirn, which is bleak to say the least. A less intimidating theory, however, claims that the runes just stand for the initials of Bethesda's employees, or possibly an inside joke. Either way, Bethesda haven't broken silence on the subject, so for now, exactly why a mad entomologist in Skyrim went around hiding these jars is a complete and utter mystery.
So that was 6 of our favourite mysteries in video games. Did we miss anything off the list? I can't wait for the comments on this one personally.
Really? Personally?
Yeah,
you can't wait?
Can't wait.
You're going to respond personally to every...
I do genuinely read them, and I might even respond, so do write something.
Yes, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see some more.
For the moment though, if you thought these were mysterious, check out our video on 6 video game conspiracies. Illuminati, we'll see you next time.
Sticks are wood, yeah!
Hey guys, welcome to All Time Gaming. I'm Chris.
I'm Jamie.
And I'm Alex.
And what could be more important to a game than the plot?
The gameplay?
Graphics?
Yeah, no, nothing. That's what. Which is why it's a shame that so many games get their narratives just completely wrong.
So here are 6 examples of games with really, really stupid plots.
Pretty good games though, but yeah, stupid ones.
Narrative is certainly not one of Call of Duty's strong points.
Nah.
Any game that can have Captain Price meditate on the transient nature of self-determinism for 2 minutes probably blew all its budget on making the explosions 10% bigger.
Big words, Jamie.
Thank you. Although, making those explosions 10% bigger is not necessarily a bad thing. Explosions are good.
Get out now!
Modern Warfare 2, for example, is a fantastically relaxing game when you feel the need to relieve some tension by wasting a few hundred virtual soldiers.